Hello, hello, hello. Expansion and compression from Bill Hartman. Now this is a story of getting the ego checked. Learning about a new topic for me is easy because the expectations are you know nothing. Getting your entire approach to training checked when you've been doing it for 10 plus years is a different story. The ego gets hit harder. You got to scrape back the layers of the created identity, smack them to the side to make room for better information. And that's what was done. Expression so hard to say. Still learning, do you know what I mean? Still learning new things. Compression expansion model by Bill Hartman, based on a lot of Darwinian principles, I guess. And it's all about how the first living, breathing organism was doing just that as the first movement. Breathing, living and breathing. And breathing is expansion and compression. That's all it is. That's the first thing we were able to do as a live organism. The next thing, as we evolved, we can hypothesize, Darwin hypothesized, is move forwards and backwards. I guess like a little sperm or a bacteria or a fish, you just think they're moving like this direction, forwards and backwards. As that being got out of water, grew some feet. They improved the movement capabilities, and as we developed things like monkeys, we were able to move to the side as well as front and back to a high level, to a high ability. We had the ability, monkeys had more of the ability to move their head. And then you've got a human being that can compress and expand, can move forwards and backwards, move side to side and transverse through space, horizontally, stand on 2 feet. We're the only capable alive beings that can stand on their 2 feet. And the basis of this model by Bill Hartman is all movement comes from this compression and expansion. Expansion and compression. And where do we do that expansion and compression? Throughout the body. But the basis of that is through the lungs, through this part, your axial skeleton, from your hips, through your pelvis, through your head. This is where the expansion and compression, the basic movement, originates from. And as humans are so capable of movements that no other species can. We can walk around on 2 feet, 2 legs, upright, we can throw, we can move, we can look in different directions, we can run, efficient beings. Part of this model is that we lose the abilities from this top-down, high levels of skills and, I used the word already, but abilities, as we become more stressed. You'll see as an older person walking, they're only able to move in the front. They can't do what a young person can do with twist and turn and transverse through that plane. We lose our new abilities that we have that other species don't have as stresses are mirrored onto our lives. And this can be applied to training in the gym. So you could be having pain in one area of your body, and that could be due to compensations being made from stresses and us not being able to use our bodies, becoming bent over like this as we get older, for example, is an implication of losing some of our abilities. Now, as you can see, this is difficult for me to kind of put all together. But I'm doing my best. It's a new model that I'm learning about, and I hope you appreciate that. And what I'm trying to do and bring it back is explain what I've been learning and apply it to a gym basis. So one way to think about it is using the ribs and the pelvis as an example. So when we breathe in, our rib cage and our diaphragm, everything in here expands. We externally rotate, we abduct, and this place expands. If we lose that ability to expand in here, it can mean we lose the ability to externally rotate the shoulders or the hips or the legs. That's one example of going back to the basics first, improving your ability to breathe, expand, and also compress this part of your body will enable your limbs to have the abilities that us humans have evolved to keep. And that might not make sense, but I'm sure it's something I'm going to continue to talk about moving forward in the future. So one way to look at this is, if you have pain in your shoulders, on the back of your body, around your scapulars, this might be caused because you're either too compressed or too expanded. Too expanded, your rib cages are flaring out, or you're too compressed and everything's too tight in. This brings us back to the value of breathing properly, using all the musculature to restore our high levels of evolutionary capabilities in movements. Now, this is something I'm just beginning to explore, this model of compression and expansion, and I wanted to kind of just share my thoughts. And the main point of this video is, when you identify as being knowledgeable on a topic, it can be the hardest time to check the ego, to look at oneself and analyze what you know and what you think you know. Take a step back, try and drop that ego that you have built, that identity that you have built. Because on the other side of it, there's pain, there's challenge, there is a fight, a real fight. And it's the real fight that you want to focus on, because that's progression. Really, if you want to learn, you have to change. And that change becomes harder when you are so bought in to something, to some kind of topic, some kind of knowledge. Dropping the ego, dropping that, I know everything, and letting in new things will enable you to continually progress, continually bring in new knowledge to your brain and develop as a human being. That's really how you're going to become particularly good at something in this world, by constantly asking questions, particularly of what you know currently. But when something new comes in, a new perspective, jump on it, try and be open, go through the pain of the ego being checked and learn, apply that knowledge. It's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. I'm going to talk more about this model moving forward as I learn about it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope you go out there and train hard and remove that ego and accept help, accept new knowledge, and keep trying to progress. Have a good day.